Hey Travis kiddos, it's math time. Let's talk adding three numbers. That's what our workbook pages are about for today's assignment. We have pages 77 and 78 in the math workbook. Before we get to that, I want to go over adding two numbers, which I know you guys are good at, but I want to review a little bit before we go into adding three. So let's go over a couple of different problems and different ways to add it. As always, you can use manipulatives, use objects. I know most of you don't have cubes or blocks at home, but if you do, great. If not, use Cheerios, use pencils, use buttons, use anything you want if you need to support yourself with that. You can also draw a picture, and you can also use number bonds, which is one of the ways I'm going to be showing you here. So first, let's start with adding 3 plus 5. Okay? So here you can count on from the bigger number. You could start at 5 and go 6, 7, 8. You can find another way to help you add, but 3 plus 5 equals 8. You can also count on from the smaller number, 3. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Either way, whatever works best for you. Okay, 6 plus 4. Okay, so I would probably start by adding on from the bigger number, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, lucky 10. Okay. Then if we get into a little bit of higher numbers, if we have 9 plus 5, what I would do here, you could do this a couple of ways. You can count on 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You could count on from 5. You could draw a picture. I would probably want to make a number bond. Now, when I'm making my number bond, I'm going to look for 10, right? We really love finding the number 10, making the number 10 however we can. So I would split up the number 9. I would not split up the number 9. You could. If I did, actually, let's start there anyway. So number 9, I'm going to split it up so that I can make a 10. I know I have 5 over here, so I need another 5 to make a 10. So I would split that up. So I have a 5 to make the 10. And if I split 9 up, I take 5 away from it. The other part is going to be 4. So here I have my 10 and my 4 more. So 5 plus 5 made 10. And then 10 plus the 4 I have left over equals 14. Okay? Any way you want to get there. Again, if you want to draw a picture, 9 circles and 5 more circles. There you have 14. Count them all up. Okay, so you guys know how to add two numbers very well. I'm not concerned about that. But I want to build those same equations into adding three numbers. So let's go back to 3 plus 5 again. So if I add 3 plus 5 plus 5, you can add two numbers first and then add the third one on, or you can look for a 10. So if I added two numbers first, I would do 3 plus 5, and we already figured out 3 plus 5 was 8. Then I can add on my 5 more. And again, you can do this whatever way you want. Count on, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You can draw a picture. You can do another number bond. But 8 plus 5 makes 13. So 3 plus 5 plus 5 makes 13. If you wanted to do it a different way, so 3 plus 5 plus 5, I already know pretty well that 5 and 5 make 10, so I immediately know, oh, there's a 10. Okay, so that makes a 10. Then I'm going to add my 3 more. So 3 plus 10, 10 and 3 make 13. You get to the same answer a different way. Okay, so if you already have a 10 built in, awesome. That's super easy to do. If you don't, you can add any two numbers first and then add the third one on. And we'll get to some other strategies in a second. Okay, so 6 plus 4 was our next two-digit addition problem. Okay, then I'm going to add 2 more. Okay, so here, 6 plus 4, my favorite, a 10, and then add 2 more. So 10 and 2 make 12. So 6 plus 4 plus 2 makes 12. Okay, another way, 6 plus 4 plus 2. If I wanted to start with adding 4 and 2, that makes 6. 6 and 6 is a double stack. We practice double stacks a lot too. So 6 plus 6 makes 12. So 6 plus 4 plus 2 makes 12. You could also add the 6 and 2 first to make 8 and then add on 4 more. Again, totally up to you. Now let's get back to that one where the numbers go above 10 when you add two numbers first, and then keep adding. So 9 plus 5 plus 3, okay? So here, what I would do, you could either add two numbers, then add them together. So I might start with 5 and 3. You get 8. And 9 plus 8 is a doubles plus 1. Doubles 8 plus 1 more. So doubles 8 is 16. Plus 1 more would be 17. So the doubles plus 1, 8 plus 1 makes 9. So 8 plus 8 would be 16. 8 plus 9 is 17. Okay? So that's one way to do it. You could also do adding 9 and 3 if that works for you, 9 and 5 if that works for you. If I wanted to add 9 and 3, I would reach over like that. Now it might get confusing. We're not adding the 5 in there, just the 9 and the 3 to make 12, and then add 5 more to make 17. I'm going to clear a little bit more space here so that you can see another way to do it. Okay, another way is trying to find a 10 within this. Okay, so last time I split up the 9 to make 5 and 4 so I could make a 10 with 5 and 5. This time I'm going to split up the 5. Okay, so if I have 9, I know that I need one more to make a 10. So I'm going to split the 5 up. If I split 5 into 1, there's 4 left. So 5, split it up into 1 and 4. Okay, so 9 and 1 makes my 10. 9 plus 1 equals 10. Okay, now I have the other two numbers to add. I can either add them together and add it to my 10. I can add each one on individually, so I could do 10 plus 4 is 14, plus 3 more, 14, 15, 16, 17. Or I could add 4 plus 3, since those are smaller numbers. 4 plus 3 equals 7. We should know those facts pretty well. So 7 plus 10. And I still get to the same answer, different way. If you can do these mentally, awesome. If you want to draw it out, awesome. I think it's always good to show your work to make sure we're not making any errors, to check for those errors. And you know, we always love to solve it multiple ways. So if you want to do it one way, then do it another way, then do it another way, same problem. That's excellent practice and gets your brain really thinking about different ways to solve problems. See how clever you can be, right? Okay, so let's practice one more before you go ahead onto the workbook page. So I'm going to give you a second. So 4 plus 3 plus 8. So go ahead and think about one way you could solve it, maybe 2, maybe even 3. Okay, so think about it for a moment. So for me, having a big number like 8 close to 10, I would probably try to find another number, try to make a 10 out of that. So I start with my 8. I'm going to split up one of these two numbers to get out, to put with 8 to make a 10. So I 5, 8, how many more do I need to make a 10? 2. So I'm going to go ahead and split up the 3. It's right next to it, easy for visually planning it out. So 3, I need a 2 so that I can make a 10 with the 8. If I take 2 out of 3, there's 1 left, right? I'm splitting it up. So I'm taking out the parts from the whole. Whole, one of our vocabulary words this week. So 8 plus 2 makes 10. Okay, now I have these other numbers left. 4 and 1 make 5. So I can even kind of do a wonky sideways bond here, bind them together to make my 5. So 10 plus 5 equals 15. Right? Or maybe you want to do 4 plus 3 plus 8. Okay, I know 4 and 3 make 7. So you notice here I'm combining them and making my number bond go down, part, whole. Remember the whole is always bound to both parts. Here I'm splitting up the whole to make parts. So whole, part, and here part, whole. I know it's a little wonky, but these are the ways that we're splitting up the numbers using our number bonds to add these 3 numbers. So 7 plus my 8. Here's another doubles plus 1 fact. So 7 plus 7 would be 14. 1 more than 7 is 8. So 7 plus 8 is 1 more than 14, or 15. Okay, so again, getting to the same answer multiple ways. And always come back to the beginning. So 4 plus 3 plus 8 equals 15. Okay, so now you are ready to go practice in the math workbook. You'll notice on the front there are pictures for you. So you can circle a 10 if you find them in the picture. So count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Circle those 10 items and then count the rest and answer it. You can try adding two numbers together. You can try finding a 10 in here. You can count them all, however you need to do to solve it, but really try adding two numbers first or finding a 10. Okay. On the back side, you'll see they even have number bonds. They're showing you how to use a number bond on the back to help you add three numbers. So some of them have some lovely tens already to be found in there, putting two numbers to make 10. Two numbers together. Others you might have to find the 10, or you might just add two numbers together and then add the third one on. Again, your choice. Practice different ways if you can. So they're suggesting make a 10, but again, whatever works for you. Practice different ways. Practice is always great, and have fun with it. Happy learning.